Welcome back to the third day of the Riley Sewalong. Go ahead and grab your back strap pieces. With the right sides facing up, you are going to trim the left strap only along the pattern piece trim line. So put that pattern piece on top of the left side. And do you see where that little trim line is along the bottom? You're going to go ahead and cut that off just on the left strap. The left strap will end up being a bit thinner or narrower than the right strap, and so that's going to allow the left strap to overlap it, and you'll see where this really comes into play in the following steps. With the wrong side of your strap up, you're going to fold in the long curved edge by 1/4 of an inch from top to bottom, and do that on both sides. And once you've pressed it in by 1/4 of an inch, you're going to do it again by 3/8 of an inch. Use lots of steam, especially on those curves, press it well, and then go ahead and pin them as well. Once you have them all pressed and pinned, you are going to go over to your sewing machine and you're going to do 2 lines of top stitching along each of those edges. The first will be a 1/16 inch from the edge, and the second one will be a 1/4 of an inch inside of the first. Just like we've done before, if you are using top stitching thread like I am, you're going to want to make sure that you're doing this on the right side of your straps. If you're not using top stitching thread, you might find that it's easier, especially on that second row of stitching, to catch that edge if you do it from the wrong side. Okay, your strap should look something like this now. You are going to take your left strap, this is the left strap when you're wearing it, and you are going to place it over the right strap. And what you're going to need to do is you're going to match up a few different points. So there are those dots, and then there's also these center back notches. So on the left side, that center back notch is right on that folded edge, and on the right side it's like 3/4 of an inch in, and those dots should also match up. Sometimes they get a little ski-wampus if, when you're stitching, it kind of stretches it out a teeny bit. So the most important thing is that it is flat, that it's overlapping, and that it looks balanced. Now that everything is matched up and flat, you're going to want to pin it in multiple places just to make sure that it stays where it's supposed to, and then it's nice and secure for the following top stitching. Now you're going to grab a ruler and some kind of temporary marking tool, and what you're going to do is you are going to finish out the diamond-shaped top stitching with your marking tool. So you're connecting those top stitching lines so that it's a continuous diamond. On the lower one here, it is slightly curved, so see what you can do to kind of make it match the other side. The goal overall is just to have it look as balanced as possible. Don't worry too much, it's not going to be perfect. Nobody is going to notice if it's a teeny bit off, but just do your best to kind of match the other side. Once it's all marked, it's time to go ahead and stitch out that diamond. So starting at the bottom of your straps, stitch up to the dot and pivot at the corners to stitch the outside diamond top stitching. You're going to be stitching on top of previous stitching at some points, and then you're going to repeat that again for the inside diamond top stitching. Should look something like this. Once again, don't worry if it's not absolutely perfect. There's going to be a lot of other things, including like belt loops and pockets and stuff going on the back here, so nobody's going to be looking that close. Okay, let's put the straps aside and go ahead and grab your rear pockets. We are going to be finishing the rear pockets in the same way that we did for the chest pocket. So you're going to take one, and with wrong sides touching, you're going to fold the upper edge of the pocket down by 1/4 of an inch and press. And then you're going to flip it over so that the right side is facing up, and you're going to fold it down by 1 inch or at those little side notches, and then you're going to pin it in place. now we'll go over to our sewing machine, and just like we did on the chest pocket, we are going to stitch at a 1/2 inch seam allowance around the sides and bottom, pivoting at every corner. Go ahead and clip those top corners and turn the hem right side out. Use a point turner or whatever tool that you want to make sure that you get a nice sharp corner on each side. And then you're going to press down that top little section as well as the 1/2 inch seam allowance all the way around each pocket. And then once you have that all pressed, you're going to secure that top folded edge by going over to your sewing machine. And if you're using top stitching thread like I am, you're going to do this from the right side. Otherwise, you might want to do it from the wrong side, but you're going to stitch as close to that bottom folded edge to finish off the pocket. Once both of those rear pockets are all prepped, they should look something like this. Go ahead and put those rear pockets aside for just a minute and grab your back pieces, and we are going to go ahead and sew the back darts. I like to fold it in half along those dart legs, so once again matching up those little notches at the top and then all the way down to the bottom dot. I usually give it a little bit of a press and put a little pin in it, and then I go over to my sewing machine and I'm going to stitch from the top to the bottom. Make sure that you back stitch at the top, and then at the bottom you don't back stitch. Instead you stitch all the way off the end and you give it a little bit of a tie to finish it. Once you've sewn both of those back darts, go back over to your pressing station and you are going to press the excess of the dart towards center back. Now flip your back over, and from the right side you're going to top stitch down the inner side, or the side that's closer to center back, down the edge of the dart just a 1/16 inch away from the edge, and make sure that you are back stitching at both ends. Now that the darts are done, let's go ahead and attach the rear pockets. So with the right sides facing up, you're going to pin each of your rear patch pockets to the back. You're going to match the upper corners of each pocket to the placement dot markings on your back. Once you feel like the placement is right, you're going to generously pin the pockets around the edges. Once pinned, you're going to sew the rear pockets in the same way that you did the chest pocket. So you're going to top stitch close to the folded edge of the side and bottom edges at a 1/16 inch, and then you're going to do another row of stitching the same way at a 1/4 inch inside the first. Is it for today. So your back should look something like this now. Come back tomorrow and we are going to sew up the front pockets.